Hi guys, welcome to EduTap, and here is yet another lecture of Agriculture Current Affairs for NABARD Grade A and AFO 2019, which is conducted by IBPS. Now, as you know, this particular series is about agriculture and related current affairs right from the month of January, and we are going to cover entire current affairs related to agriculture for this year. Now, this particular series has the content which is very much important for the AFO exam, the upcoming exam. It is going to be taking place in this year. And for NABARD Grade A, those who are the aspirants, they need to know that though the content directly may not be useful, as in the NABARD Grade A exam, usually the questions are asked from past 6 months, but you through this series will be able to develop an orientation like what kind of questions are asked or what news is important for you. So you can see it will be helpful for you in terms of the filtering out of news. And telling you about this particular video, as you can see here, I've mentioned it is about the May month, and let us just proceed. So let me now tell you about our NABARD Grade A course for 2019. It is a full video course for phase 1 as well as phase 2. Now this course covers videos, notes, MCQs as well as worksheets. So this is our full video course, and you can see the MRP mentioned here. And good news for you guys is that we are running a discount of 15% currently, and you have to use the coupon code early15 to avail the discount. And here you can see the various courses which are offered by us. It is RBI Grade B 2018. The phase 2 exam is yet to be conducted, and RBI Grade B 2019 and CTET 2018. Now we are also offering the UPSC Indian Economy course for general studies, where we'll be covering prelims as well as main syllabus comprehensively. Okay, so in this particular video, we are going to learn about the agriculture and related current affairs from the month of June. And since this is part 3, so we have already covered this particular month in part 1 and 2 as well. In case you guys have missed that video, just go back and see those as well. And let us just start with our lecture. Okay, so very first news from this particular lecture is about the hike in the import duty on the non-palm oils. Now see, government has hiked the import duty on the non-palm oils by 5 to 10%. Now first of all, let me tell you that since India is an importer of the non-palm oils, which are used as the edible oils or the vegetable oils basically, the import duty has been hiked by the government to protect the interest of the domestic oilseed growers and the processors. Now see, first of all, it is important to know that government is pushing the farmers towards the diversification of crops. That is, since so much of our farmers are dependent on the mainstream crops like wheat and paddy, which is basically procured by the government, and now the government wants the farmers to diversify their crops, which can even lead to the decline in the import, so that India becomes self-sufficient in these products as well. So this is the background of this particular news. Let us see about the various oils which have been hiked. So sunflower oil, first of all, the import duty was increased from 25 to 35%, and refined is obviously, refined has to be more than that of the crude variant, so it has also been increased by 10%. Similarly, crude groundnut oil, the import duty has been increased from 30 to 35%, 5% increase here and 10% on the refined oil. And canola oil, it has also been increased by 10%, that is 25 to 35%. Okay, so here is the background again, that India has 60 to 65% import dependency in the edible oils, since there is a very huge deficit between the demand and supply, because India is not able to process the oil seeds which are produced in the market by the farmers. So that is why we are dependent on the import. And secondly, let me tell you, the import bill for edible oil is around $10 billion. So that becomes highest after oil and gold. So you get to know that India is the highest importer of the oil, that is oil and petroleum. Then secondly, we import gold, as gold is used a lot by the domestic households even. And thirdly, it is the $10 billion import bill for the edible oil. So these are the three important things which are imported in India. Okay, so next important scheme is 7-star Gram Panchayat Rainbow scheme. Another important scheme by the government of Haryana. Now see, we have already learnt about various other schemes which were related to a particular state government, and Haryana government has recently also launched the Dhan scheme, which we have already covered in our previous videos. So this is another important scheme since it is first of its kind. So 7-star Gram Panchayat Rainbow scheme. See, in this particular scheme, the Haryana government is going to rank the panchayats of the villages, and they will be given the star rating. And the importance of the star rating is that they will be then given grants based on this. So let us see this news. Haryana government has decided to give star ranking to its panchayat on the basis of 7-star rainbow scheme. Now these 7 stars are basically related to 7 parameters, and these are the social parameters basically, like they are sex ratio, then education, hygiene, environment preservation, governance and social participation. So these are the 7 parameters based on which the 7 stars would be granted, and this has already taken place, and Ambala has topped the star ranking. So this is important for you to know that all the villages which come under the vicinity of Ambala have been given this maximum stars, which have been followed by Gurugram, and third stands Karnal. So these are the 3 important places you need to remember. Okay, so this is about the 7-star rainbow scheme. Villages which will be winning 6 stars will be entitled to get additional development works worth rupees 20 lakh. So see, otherwise development grants are given, but here the additional would be given, and villages with 5 stars would be given rupees 15 lakh, and villages with 4 stars will be having additional developmental works worth rupees 10 lakh. So these are also important, and here, as this has 7-star rainbow scheme, so you can read about the 7 stars. I've all mentioned the color of the stars which have been given by the government. Since it's a rainbow scheme, so colors have to be there. Okay, so our next important news is about the report by the United Nations. Now this report is related to the world's hungry population, which is, according to the report, has been on rise again. Now again, because earlier it was considered that the hungry population is on the decline, but in the latest report it is confirmed that the population which is hungry is rising, and the main reasons have been conflict and the climate change. See, you have seen so many countries which have been conflict stricken, and climate change is the other important reason. So let us see, apart from this report UN, let us see about the South Asia as well. You can just read about in this particular slide. Okay, so South Asia important parameter is that child marriage rate has plunged. That means the child marriage has declined in South Asia from 2000 to 2017. So in this 17 years, South Asia has seen less child marriages. And another important thing is that water stress levels for many countries are above 70%. So here Niti Aayog also came up with this particular report regarding the water crisis which India particularly is going to face. So here also the UN report has also mentioned that almost all the countries, especially the South Asian and developing countries, are going to face the water crisis. So more than apart from these two, let us see what the third thing says. It says more than 9 out of 10 people living in urban areas are breathing polluted air. So the pollution is another very important crisis which the population is going through, and electricity and sanitation deficits in South Asia. You see, so basic problems which India and the South Asia particularly is facing, and you have to just read them all. Okay, so here I have mentioned for you the 17 SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals. You should know all these goals. Here in the picture it is written that goal 1 is no poverty, then goal 2 is zero hunger. Similarly, you can read these 17 goals, and they are going to be in run from 2015 to 2030. And Niti Aayog from the side of India is one of the implementing agencies playing the proactive role. Okay, so another important scheme, it's Dhan Scheme. So see, government has proposed to set up 3,000 Dhan Kendras involving self-help groups. Now this is another important flagship scheme of the Ministry of Tribal Affairs and the Development. So Dhan scheme has been to be implemented by Ministry of Tribal Affairs. It will help basically empowering the tribals by providing them their skill upgradation and capacity building for the value addition of the minor forest produce. So MFP is the important keyword here, that minor forest produce. Let me just tell you that non-timber minor forest produce are the little produces which are there in the forest, like it can be the fruits, raisins, apart from timber whatever is obtained from there, even herbs can be there. So the scheme was launched at Bijapur, Chhattisgarh on the Jayanti of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So this is also important. So this is about Dhan scheme. It is promoting the minor forest produce centric livelihood development of the tribal gatherers. And another important thing, though it is going to be implemented by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs, the nodal agency is the PSU of this ministry, which is TriFed. So you have to know this as well. And at the state level, state nodal agency will be there and district collectors will play the pivot role. So this is about the Dhan scheme. Just go through it once again completely. And our last news of this section, which is again very important, is related to the Global Environment Facility. Now see, before proceeding to this news, what this entails for us, let me tell you that GEF is a multilateral financial mechanism. First of all, it's multilateral. That means many countries are involved in it, be it the developed nations or the developing nations, and the financial mechanism is related to the providing grants to the developing countries for the projects that benefit the global environment. So it's a global environment and sustainable development related facility which has been set up, and it was established in 1992 at the Rio Earth Summit. So first of all, this is important which you need to know. And secondly, India is among the most vulnerable countries in terms of climate change, being a developing nation. So it's a donor as well as recipient of GEF. So that means we provide grant for the nations which are more vulnerable than us, and usually we get the grant from the GEF through the mechanism of GEF from the other developed nations. So this is the functioning of GEF, and let us see what this news has for us. So India has increased its grant of GEF for the GEF cycle, which has been recently started at the meeting at Da Nang, Vietnam. So the recent council meeting took place at Vietnam, where GEF 7 cycle was approved, and India has approved the grant from $12 million to $15 million. So 3 million increase has been there. And yes, that would be it from this particular news. So thank you guys. That was about the current affairs from the month of June, especially related to agriculture and related current affairs. And in case you guys have any query related to this particular exam which deals with these current affairs, that is our IBPS exam or be it the NABARD exam, if you guys have any query related to our course or this exam, you can just drop us a mail at hello@edutap.co.in, and this is our contact number. You can give us a call or even WhatsApp us on this number. And our website www.edutap.co.in, you can visit our website anytime. And this is the link of the Telegram channel I've mentioned here. You can just go and download the content sheet or the PDF of this particular slide so that it is helpful for you guys to retain it. And it is also mentioned in the description below. If you like this video, do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you guys. Have a happy learning.